Hello and welcome back to Games Embassy with the Ambassadors of Gaming. I'm one of your army of hosts, Ambassador Chris.
And I am Ambassador Jason.
And I am Ambassador Kevin.
And welcome to our humble corner of the internet where we have news about stuff. Jason, how are you today?
I'm doing pretty well.
Are you doing well? Are you doing well? Because you were about to play Switch instead of being here.
No, I was just waiting for you guys, checking some stuff out.
Yeah. Our conversation was too boring for him, so he chose to go play Astral Chain, which is fine. I'm used to being ignored. Kevin, how are you today?
My computer died. I'm kind of sad.
How are you today? I'm doing great. My computer took a shit, but I'm fine. I'm doing great.
He's got a smile, but I'm kind of like dying inside. It's like a
Kevin's sad and Jason doesn't care. This is going to be a great show. All right, let's get. Oh crap! No, Kevin needs to do our Patreon plug.
Yes, it's my turn to shine. We have a nice little Patreon page where you could get some cool perks and goodies like early access to shows, getting your comments, questions, and concerns read on the show, and exclusive content. If you would like to support the show and get some goodies, you can do so over there at patreon.com/ambassadors of gaming.
I don't like the fact that we use the word goodies in that plug. Let's get into the updates, announcements, and other news. So, Jason, take me in.
So GameStop is continuing its inedible descent. CEO George Sherman announced that the company will be closing 180 to 200 stores across the U.S. According to CNN, GameStop has reported a net loss of $415.3 million for the second quarter alone. The company is continuing to attempt to restructure its brand in hopes of becoming a social hub for gaming.
In what? Their prison cell stores?
The stores aren't big enough, but it would be, if their stores were large enough, it would be nice for them to hold like tournaments and stuff like on the weekends and have little prizes and people can order their games and stuff, but their stores are just too small.
Yeah,
they're too small. They barely have games there now. You go there, it's nothing but merchandise. Like there's a merchandise there at this point. But speaking of tournaments, I actually went to a GameStop tournament like when Street Fighter 4 first came out, and I got second place. Pretty sad.
Nice.
What happened to the good old days of GameStop where I can buy a used game for almost as much as a new game? Good times. Good stuff. Okay.
All right. So EA gets a Guinness World Record for the most downvoted comment on Reddit.
I forgot about that.
Like you would think, like, oh my god, they were on record. Oh my god, finally good news about EA. No,
I forgot about that. Oh, and Mike didn't label what the comment was. Damn, it was. I can't remember. It was something relating to Oh my god, I think it was related to Battlefront.
If you could play Red Hood, that'd be great. Cause like I would do it, but like I'm on my PC. Cause usually I look 2 monitors up and stuff, but I can't do it.
Let me look through these links real quick, cause I gotta find it. Guinness World Record. Let's see what it is. Yeah, it was related to Battlefront 2. Okay, what's the comment? Don't make this easy.
It's all kind of crazy how you actually get an award for that. Like, do they have like a trophy or like a plaque on the wall?
They should. If it's in the Guinness Book of World Record, they'll receive a plaque for sure. So that's kind of funny.
That's freaking hilarious. Like, who made these rules? Like,
okay, so I can't find. Let me see here. Oh, is this it? Is this the comment? I think this is it.
I believe in you, Chris. We talked about this.
Okay, I think that this is it. I think. Here's the comment. So it does relate to Battlefront 2, and it relates to EA's response for people being upset about having to unlock, name staples in the Star Wars like trilogy and movies, but having to unlock them rather than just through regular gameplay or regular gameplay instead of grinding for hours to get like a chance at one character. The intent here's the supposedly. I hope this is it. The intent is to provide players with a sense of pride and accomplishment for unlocking different heroes. As for cost, we selected initial values based upon data from the open beta and other adjustments made to milestone rewards before launch. Among other things, we're looking at the average per player credit earn rates on a daily basis, and we'll be making constant adjustments to ensure that players have challenges that are compelling, rewarding, and of course obtainable via gameplay. We appreciate the candid feedback and the passion of the community has put forth around the current topics here on Reddit, our forums, uh, and across numerous social media outlets. Our team will continue to make changes and monitor community feedback and update everyone as often as we can. So that's
I think it was
it.
good because I think it was like it took about like a lot of hours. Like it wasn't like 10 hours. It was like 40 to 50 hours just a lot on character type stuff.
That's
I didn't really lose about that.
outrageous. Everything
Yeah.
about that game is outrageous. We could do a whole episode just on EA.
And Kingdom Hearts, we're not gonna forget about that. But Mike's not here, so we're not gonna talk about it.
Mike's not here, so we're not allowed to talk about it. Whatever. Jason, what do you did you play Battlefront 2 at all?
Yeah, for like 10 minutes.
I like that giggle. Did you play Battlefront 2 at all?
10
Yeah.
minutes. It looked nice. Microtransactions were everywhere. And that was about it. I saw that. I was like, okay, well, I'm not gonna be playing this anymore. And that was it. Didn't buy it.
Did you buy it?
No,
Oh, okay,
no.
okay.
I had the EA Game Pass for don't recall what reason. I think it's when Apex first. Yeah, when Apex first came out, I wanted that discount when I was buying some of those things. Because that's a game that's well made, and I don't mind supporting it. But yeah, so when I had the EA Access, I downloaded it and checked it out for like 10 minutes. I was like, I'm not missing out on anything here.
Yeah. I learned a valuable lesson after Anthem. I normally really like to pre-order games, but I don't think I will ever pre-order another EA game. I will only wait for reviews and wait for people to actually wait for the dust to actually settle before I buy another EA game.
Yeah, I got burned by Battlefield, man.
Battlefield sucks. Battlefront sucks.
Battlefield 4. I was so like Battlefield 3 was amazing. One of my favorite games. I put so many hours into it. Battlefield 4, I went in with like the largest edition you can get, and everything was just broken at launch.
Yeah, they had like the worst launch ever.
Yeah, it was bad. And then 5 wasn't that good. And then it's just done for me. Like I won't probably
But
play Battlefield
4
again.
eventually, when it got fixed, like a couple months later, it was amazing.
A couple of months later, you already had my money for months. I paid to play, at least within the first couple of days. And when it's just server disconnects out, every game is server disconnect, you can't play. You're losing out on stats, you're losing out on all kinds of stuff. It's annoying.
Yeah, you're right. Well, I'm not gonna defend EA. Why am I defending EA in the first place? I'm sorry. Take all my comments back.
Well, here we'll move on to another horrible microtransaction trap. So hold my beer. All right. To round out the lashing, NBA 2K20 deserves it as it has made another mistake. On the PC version, players can be treated with a logo for NBA 2K19 when they boot up the game, due to apparently no one actually taking the time to replace the image. These games are seriously like it's amazing. Like EA barely does anything to a game, and they re-release it and make you start over on building your players up from scratch. Or not EA, I'm sorry, 2K.
2K, yeah.
EA does the same thing with FIFA.
Well, yeah, I don't understand. Like these sports games, they shouldn't even have yearly releases. Like we're at a point with technology where you can just update the rosters and add a couple features through software and be good to go.
But they can make you reset buying your players from scratch, though. That's the thing. That's the catch.
Money. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So it's not really their fault. It's our fault for keep buying the games every year. Well, not us. I know we're not gonna buy it, but other people like to buy the 2Ks every year. So I just think that's really like it's dumb. Like, come on, just stick to 2K19. Put your foot down, and be like, yo, you can just update this game. Like, just update the same game we have. Just call it 2K, and that's it.
Yeah.
And have like every year there's this update the roster, and then update some gameplay changes, and that's it. Because that's basically that's basically what happens every year. But so you get like an update, you pay $60 every year.
Yep.
Crazy.
Kind of
It's
crazy.
games as a service without actually being games as a service. It's kind of impressive. All right, Jason moves on.
The Switch gets a new firmware update, and sadly doesn't include wallpapers.
I was waiting.
The update includes unusual new features: the ability for the light ring around the home button on the Joy-Cons and Pro controller to turn on, as well as alarm notifications. You can view these new items under notifications. You can check or delete preset alarms. Alarms can only be set up within supported software, and a controller firmware update may be required to use this feature.
Whoa! There's a light on the Joy-Con?
Yeah, around the home button.
Really?
I believe I've seen it light up once. I think like when I first got the Switch, and like
I did not know there was a light there.
I've never seen it light up ever again, and I guess this is why. So yeah.
Let's drain our batteries even quicker. I'm down. That's good. Let's do it. Kevin.
Well, Switch news. I have nothing to comment. I missed my Switch. Only had it for a week, but anyway.
I was asking you to move on.
I know. I was about to move on. Now, just just transitioning. Fallout 76 ads. Drum rolls, please. Somebody. That was horrible. New microtransactions. The game most recent update brought quality of life improvements and new items to purchase with real money. You cannot earn these items for free or through quests only through the collection of items, which drop frequently, but in low counts, earning 10 items on average for challenges. There are rare instances that drop higher amounts. The new items include a fridge for players' camps that reduce the spoilage rate of stored food and drink by 50%, a new robot that collects scrap and simple items in their camp.
Did anyone remember the tweet from Pete Hines?
No.
Anyone remember that? Where he was like, he tweeted before this game release and said there will only be cosmetic microtransactions.
Oh.
He said it in multiple places that it would only be cosmetic. Those were his words, only cosmetic. And now he's been releasing all of these things like that to make your armor last longer, to stop some grinding, or to add the stuff in to make your food last longer. And then they try and argue back going, we didn't say only cosmetic. We said that it wouldn't be pay to win. It's like, nope, you said cosmetic. Those are your words.
This game, I'm a Fallout fan, but this game it was a hot mess from launch, man. I haven't played it at all. I just read all the terrible things that happen in it. It's bad. Like, this is a bad one for sure.
What was the deal with the bags again? We talked about this once.
Yo,
what was the deal that happened with the bags?
The Ultimate Collector's Edition, whatever it was called, it's supposed to come with like a nice bag, duffel bag. And what they sent out was like some plastic lining looking duffel bag. It was like very cheap material. But what they showed in the advertisement, it looked rugged and the ability to withstand time and typical wear and tear. But what they sent out was like a raincoat material. It was like terrible.
Yeah, I remember because some people did get the good material, like the reviewers got the good material.
Yeah, of course.
And then people were like, "Well, why is our stuff crappy?" And if I remember, they came forward and said, "Oh, we ran out of material or something,"
which I find hard to believe.
Yeah.
And then they credit them with just in-game currency of I don't know how much. It was like $20 or something like that.
Right.
It was ridiculous.
Wow.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Kevin, anything to add?
The name of this number bad news. Like, we went from EA to 2K to Bethesda. Like, come on, like these companies here. Like, sadly, Bethesda is on the list of like this throwing out shitty content now. It's ridiculous, especially Fallout 76. Like, I was really hyped for this game because Fallout 3 was actually amazing. And like I didn't really play Fallout 4 for some reason. I think when it came out, I was working like 50+ hours a week, all that stuff. But I was like, I could play a Fallout game. There's like MMO. I'm in. And when all the review bombing, well, not review bombing, it was just trash. Like the reviews for Fallout 76, all my friends that like Fallout saying it's horrible. I just stay away. I was heartbroken.
Yep. Same here.
Gaming is heartbroken, but I'm going to move on to more EA news. That sounds great. EA is letting people test its streaming service, which is great. EA recently allowed some of its users to take part in an open beta for the upcoming service. You can test the system by downloading the Project Atlas app and logging in with your EA Origin account. The service requires an unlimited broadband connection, at least 5 megabytes per second connection to run 640 by 480. 30 megabits per second will allow you to play at like 720p and around 1080p. EA is not allowing 4K streaming at the time due to concerns about the consumer data cap. This has been an issue we've talked about with that's been talked about with Google Stadia too.
Man, this reminds me, and I wasn't born around the time, when game companies were releasing consoles and games like crazy, like in the early 80s and 90s. Well, not 90s, mostly 80s. You had like all the different Ataris, you had Nintendo, you had just all these different, I can't think of the other names of the consoles.
Neo Geo.
Yeah, like Neo Geo and all that. You had all those consoles, and they all had like different game cartridges and whatnot. And like every year, there was like a new one coming out. And now we kind of like stabilize where we have just Microsoft, PlayStation, and Nintendo. And now we have, we have the Microsoft Online Gaming Service. We have EA. We have Google Stadia. We have, I guess Steam kind of has it to a degree with their app that they have on phones and tablets. And there's
PS
so
Now?
many. Yeah, you got the PS Now. There's so many different it needs to be unified. It needs to be one service.
They won't though. But it's the
know.
same thing with Netflix and stuff. It's everyone wants a piece, wants some of that money. And what's really crappy is eventually some of these are going to taper out and go away because no one's gonna. So like, I have a question. So the Division 2 does it not come out for Game Pass then because it'd be on Ubisoft's like private streaming thing?
Have no idea.
Game service thing. I don't know if it is or not. I'm just making an example. Like,
well, I don't know. That's a good question.
I buy strictly EA games, so I'm gonna get the EA service or whatever. Like, no one's gonna buy all of these different services.
Oh yeah, of course not.
It's not worth it.
By the time you look at it, you're gonna be spending so much money per month and be playing only like 2 games, if that. Like playing anywhere online, it's an amazing, concept, but between data caps and then the major thing is if the company goes under, what happens to the money you spent? I don't see it as a good thing right now. Like Google Stadia was amazing when they first announced it, and I was like, "Oh, this is great." And then they announced you had to actually buy the games. It wasn't part of like the subscription.
Yeah, it didn't really make a lot of sense.
And I was like, "Well, why would I buy Destiny 2 again and then like not be able to crossplay?" And then why
Destiny
would I?
2 is a bad example. It does come with Destiny 2. The fact, that's the first free game they
Yeah,
added.
it does come with that. But I mean, like, why would you want to buy Assassin's Creed? And then in a year it goes under, and then you lost everything. And like, it should have been. They should have taken the time to make the deals with the companies to make it more of a Netflix style service.
It's. I mean, if you actually add up the price of hardware, it would take you, I think, what is it, like $5 a month or $10 a month? What is it?
Depends on what speed you want.
I'm talking about the free, because there's a free service and a paid one, and I'm
the
pretty
free
sure
one is not out yet. I mean,
no,
the paid
it's
one's
not.
coming out first.
The paid one's coming out first, but I can't remember. I'm gonna look it up right now. Stadia monthly.
Stadia.
I want to see, because if you add that up, like, I just want to use that as an example. So it'll be $10 a month. So I mean, a $500. Let's say you're choosing between this and an Xbox One X, which is $500.
Yeah.
It would take you quite a few months.
Yeah. To save up.
It'd take you quite a few months of paying for the service before you reach $500. And I guess I get that's kind of where the deal comes in, but not having the hardware and like
But then
the only reason I'm trying it is because I feel like if anyone can get it right, it's Google because
I'm
they're like super tech people.
I'm gonna try just because I have the internet capabilities now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the bad thing is like there's no crossplay. So like you're over here, you can't afford an Xbox One, but you can afford Stadia and the cost of the game, right? So you
Yeah.
get it, and then you get like all these games, and your friends are all playing Xbox, or they're playing games that have crossover features with Xbox, PlayStation, and PC, but not Stadia. That's limiting the community even more. Like the Switch, some of its games wouldn't be doing as well as it is if it wasn't for crossplay, just because of the fact of you know the community. If we're sitting here playing, like for example, Fortnite, and it's just Switch users, and you can't play with any other friends, then Fortnite wouldn't be doing well on the Switch. Same with
No, I wouldn't at
Paladins and
all.
everything else.
That's a good point. That is a very good point. And I'm just now realizing we super branched away from the main point of EA, so we should probably move on. Jason, take us in.
Yes, Anthem has been added to EA Access. This game as a service has been added to the EA Game Vault, meaning the game is now available for $4.99 a month or $29.99 a year, $10 more than the current physical price of the game.
Shut up and
Oh,
take my money.
I actually might get your asses just to play Anthem because I was not gonna buy that game.
look,
I was
I was excited for Anthem prior to its release. Again, another one of those games.
the thing is, like, I was a big Destiny fan back in the day, so like Anthem was like the competitor. So I was like, let's get this Destiny one to be away from me. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
I kind of like after Destiny 2, I don't know. I'm not saying Destiny 2 is bad. I just feel like right now I can't really focus on Destiny 2 because a lot I'm going on in my life right now. Like work. I work 50 plus hours a week. So
yeah.
I don't really have the time to like devote into like Destiny or like Anthem. So we access, I might just play it and like talk crap and be like, okay, this is trash, and might boot up Destiny 2 after it. Who knows? All right, so my turn. All right, so we have announcements and release dates. Control's getting two big expansions. Levy has announced the game will receive the two expansion in 2020. The first expansion, the Foundation, will be a time exclusive for PS4.
I hate PS4 right now.
Oh,
Free
I'm
to
about to say,
play.
whoa. I was like, whoa. This is a bad sort of gaming. Like, you cannot say that.
Oh, it is. They're
You say it
garbage
right
for the
now.
community. They're like the kid who doesn't play basketball, but gets the good ball before anyone gets there, and then just won't play basketball and will just out of spite just keep the good ball. That is
Yeah.
Sony, in my opinion.
Well, they have the position to do that, so they have the sales and everything. Like you
They
know me,
have it for now.
I have two literally. I have two Xbox Ones in my house right now. My PS4, I have no idea where it's at right now. Like I really don't. That thing is holding around to like at my friend's house, or whatever.
My
But I
PS4.
just
I don't know where mine is either. I let my uncle borrow it.
It's
yeah.
they had a good foothold this generation, but after everything that's gone down with them not playing nice with crossplay and then the whole name change debacle with them taking absolutely forever. Who designs an online okay. I compare do you guys have any experience programming at all?
A little bit.
Rare.
Okay.
Yeah, just a little bit.
When I try and explain this to people who don't know how to program, I say it's like a Jenga puzzle. And it's like them building on you not being able to change your name is at the very bottom of the Jenga tower. And
Yep.
so you trying to like fix it and modify it just doesn't work well because you have everything else built on top of that system.
Hmm.
Who does that? Whose bright idea in programmers? People aren't going to want to change their name. People aren't
Yeah,
going to care about that. They'll be fine naming themselves Poon Slayer 420 or something. They'll be fine. They won't want to change that once they're in their 20s. Don't have to worry about that. That's poopy.
yeah. Especially like my first game attack was like It's kind of racist. It's like, and first of all, I'm a black guy, but my first game tell was Ken Master KKK. But it was the fact that Ken Master was the guy from Street Fighter, and I put K and it was taken, K and it was taken, like 2 Ks and it was taken. I put 3 Ks and it went through. But then I'm like, yo, this
Didn't
is
think that one through, did you?
I'm like, wait, this is how racist. like, I had to change my name, you know?
And then he goes into parties. Don't worry, guys, I'm black.
Exactly. Like, dude,
That's
like,
how he starts the conversation whenever he got into any party with randos. They're like, don't worry, I'm black. It's not that racist, I promise.
I was like a little kid when I made this game of Titans. Just relax, just relax.
I'm imagining your mom, like, or like a parent or something coming in and seeing that and going like, why are you naming yourself KKK?
And I was just like, I don't know, mom. Like,
I don't know, Mom. Okay, moving on. Free-to-play Apex Legends is getting a physical release. The digital game is coming to retailers with 2 variations for $20 each. Players will be able to purchase the 2 separate editions. They are called a Bloodhound Edition and a Lifeline Edition. The games come with a legendary skin for their respective character, a legendary weapon skin, an exclusive banner and badge, and 1,000 Apex coins, which is usually $10. So, and you're going to need those Apex coins, judging by those events. You're going to need them.
Yeah, that. Oh my god!
Don't get me started on that event.
The
Don't
game
even
is
get me
great.
started.
The way they're doing events is terrible. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
This is an in-game event. Okay, how do we earn the in-game stuff? Well, you can earn 2 out of the 24.
Yep.
Everything else you need to
Like-
buy. And you want that really cool thing? You got to buy all the other things free. Sorry.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, man.
Y'all are jerks.
I know they have to make money, and they will, but just don't make it impossible to get things free to play.
Yeah, that's outrageous. Y'all are disgusting.
I mean, I already paid for the battle pass. Like, you got that. I mean, come on.
Right.
All right. Well, soon you'll be able to attempt to romance sexy anime Colonel Sanders.
You got the coolest news piece.
Yeah, I
Oh,
guess. KFC
This
has
is so
announced.
cool.
They announced that you'll be able to romance the Colonel in their new upcoming game, I Love You, Colonel Sanders. The game will be released on September 24th on Steam and play like a traditional Japanese dating sim. Oh man.
This
Think
is
about
a
it,
So,
lot
quick
of money.
question. So, is pre-orders available right now?
Why are you looking at pre-order?
I don't need sleep. I need answers.
Oh my gosh.
Look it up. Look it up right now. Oh, you don't have
Like,
your
dude,
computer died. Haha.
I was about to say, like, my crew doesn't even work right now, but, like, I would pre-order this game.
I want to romance. I just want to experience romancing Colonel Sanders.
This fucking
Also a
good.
great idea. Okay, take us into the news, Kevin.
All right, so Nintendo win lawsuit in UK blocking piracy sites. Nintendo was suing ISP, like internet service providers in the UK to block or at least impede access to websites that distribute pirated Switch games, modify hardware, or provide information on how to mod consoles for piracy reasons. UK High Court agreed that Nintendo trademark were being infringed and that there were no legal defense for modifying Switch hardware to enable piracy. The ruling does not specify if it covers all versions of Switch hardware being used for piracy, example of running emulators of older games, or Android, as we have seen in the past.
I mean, Nintendo's always on that stuff, and I feel bad for them. They get pirated. Their handhelds get pirated so much. They really do.
Yeah.
You remember the R4?
Well, that's the name of the little piece you use to you just put like a little SD card in and just
Yeah, and
all
you
your
could
Nintendo DS
play
games.
pirated
Mhm.
versions of DS games right on the DS.
Yeah,
That
I forgot what
got
it's called.
super hard.
Like Nintendo. Well, I don't really blame. Like I was like, piracy is not the right answer, but Nintendo games are not cheap. Like one of the main games, like Pokemon, whatever. Like even right now, you go to GameStop, Pokemon X and Y probably still be full price $35, and that game came out like freaking like 80 years ago.
Yeah. I don't know if that's the argument you want to make though.
I understand, but it's like, man, like like if Xbox releases a game like Gears of War 5, and I can't afford it now, all right, cool. I'll wait like a couple months later until it gets like 30 or $40, $30, $20. But Nintendo, their games are $60 until like the freaking next generation. Like there's no
Actually,
drop in prices.
this generation with the Switch, they've actually been really lenient with their first party games. Like they actually go on sale quite a bit. Like
Oh,
back in the day with like the
interesting.
Wii U and the Wii and all those other consoles, their first party games never drop price. It was always, $60, $60. But with the Switch, like you'll find sales on Odyssey, Mario Tennis, everything. Like it's
You do, yeah. I've
The
gone
Wii
in
was
there and
50.
they have like they have like one or two first party titles that are like on sale for the week or something like that.
yeah.
Interesting. So
It
okay, I'll take my comment. Remember, I only had the Switch for a week,
yeah.
so I shouldn't need that
So
comment. I'll take all of it back in.
they've been having some good sales, but I don't know, man. Nintendo's always getting pirated. It seems like. I mean, what do
Yeah,
you
it makes
expect?
you
They
feel
have great
bad.
stuff.
Well,
They
as
have
a
great
former
stuff.
pirate, all the consoles like Xbox 360 was easy to get pirated. PS3 was easy to get pirated. The Wii, God, easy. Oh, that was easy. Jesus Christ, that thing was like the most easiest thing in the world. But Nintendo, like this generation, like Xbox and PS4 is like I haven't really heard anything about anybody pirating those consoles, but the Switch and the 3DS, oh man, it's like I don't know what's wrong with them. Like they just don't know how to like do any like the whole DRM service or something because they always having a pirating issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. I am going to. That was a nice pause. I was like kind of like, okay.
The thing is, I had to like load my phone up. My phone turned off, so my bad.
No, you're
I
good.
was trying to see what's next.
Moving on to our last piece of news. It's kind of a slow news day for us over here. JJ Abrams' Bad Robot Studio to work with Warner Media on new media, including games. The director of episodes 7 and 9 has announced that the production house he co-owns will exclusively make content for Warner Media after completing its current obligations. The company is going to be working on movies, TV shows, and video games, which is kind of cool. Bad Robot Games will make, quote, large and indie consumer games for mobile, PC, and console, end quote. The studio is a joint partnership between Tencent and Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment. Tencent's everywhere now. I feel like they're giving money to everyone.
Everywhere. Largest gaming company in China, and they're everywhere. I mean, they own League of Legends. I mean,
Yeah.
they're making a League of Legends mobile. They have their hands in everything. I mean, they're doing really well.
I don't really know how to feel about this. I haven't really been a fan of the new Star Wars movie, and the Star Trek movies that he directed were good. I like the Star Trek movies.
You didn't like the Star Wars? I mean, they were good.
I've always been more of a
Like,
Trek person than Star Wars.
oh, okay, well, yeah. I mean,
And
he did well with both, in my opinion. Like,
yeah,
I like them both.
I
Which we
think
haven't had a new Star Trek in a while.
well that's because the actor that played Chekhov died.
Oh yeah, the car accident, right?
Uh-huh.
Oh my god, that was terrible. I remember when I read about that. He
Yeah,
was
he
so
got
young.
crushed by his own car in
Oh
his
my
driveway.
god, that was terrible. Yeah, I forgot about that, man.
Yeah. I don't know how to
I
feel
thought,
about this. I mean, he's a director, but directing a game is different from
yeah,
directing movies.
that is very true.
But
Oh,
like a
do you
lot.
like episode 7? Like I actually like episode 7.
yeah, they were good.
I watched The Force Awakens. It was all right. I watched episode 8. It was all right. I don't know how to say it. It wasn't really. I wasn't that impressed. I'm
Mm.
sorry if that's unpopular opinion in
No,
this
it's fine.
chat,
I
but
mean,
No,
I
I
actually
was
like
quite like, I want to boo this guy.
get the hell out of here, you idiot.
I don't know. Like, I'm not really a big Star Wars fan, so maybe that might be a reason why. Are you like? You said you like Star Trek more, but do
I
you like
love
Star
Star Trek.
Wars? But do you like Star Wars? Like, do you actually like Star Wars as a brand?
I mean, yeah. I liked I like the first and second trilogies.
Okay, so maybe that's my reason why you're like more of like a hard critic towards because you might
but
you're like you're a fan.
you like
I'm casual.
you liked episode 1 through 3?
I mean, I liked 3.
I don't know. If I put the trilogies in order, I'd probably put the original, then 7 through whatever it's gonna be, and then I'll put like the episode 1, 2, 3 last.
I did
mean,
like 3. I liked seeing him become Vader.
yeah, that was nice, but
1 and
there's
2 were meh. I'll give you
a
that.
lot of stuff I didn't like with those first 3. They had their moments, but they weren't my favorites.
I agree.
Oh.
I would like to see like what games come out of this. I'd be cool if he like this makes me like want people to direct movies based on games that aren't like Sonic.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, that's freaking disaster.
Yeah, it's gross.
Well, it's not
Why is he an
yet,
alien
but,
now?
Gotta go fast. I don't know, man.
He says I have to save your planet in the trailer. That makes no sense.
Unless it's from like another dimension.
And also, why are his rings all of a sudden portals?
Yeah,
I don't know what's happening.
They really messed
It's
that up.
okay. It's okay. You just breathe. It's fine.
Jim Carrey is the only great thing that
Yeah,
I've seen.
Yeah, he
so
looks
far.
amazing.
that's gonna be funny.
Yeah, that's awesome. But I think that's gonna be it for this episode of news stuff. Of
Very short episode.
this episode. I'm losing myself. It's been a long day, and it's only like noon. So try and check us out at least once a week. That's how often we try and do this. You might like what you find. I've been Ambassador Chris.
I'm Ambassador Jason.
And I'm Ambassador Kevin.
And we'll see you next time.
Take it,
Bye,
guys.
friends. We're gone.
Support me. Damn, I need a computer.
Support me.
Patreon, please plug me, man. I need a new computer.